Hey, so as a leader, does it ever frustrate you that your team is not following through on the brilliant idea that you so expertly communicated, and they're really not following through, and it really should bother you? Now, before you jump to conclusions thinking I'm about to tell you that your message was not in fact that brilliant and your communication style not actually that expert, I'm not. I do actually blame the people listening. And maybe blame is a strong word, is because it's not really their fault. You see, I think when you communicated to your teams, you forgot to take into account one of their greatest talents, their ability to forget. Human beings are at their core forgetting machines. It's what we're really good at, and it helps us survive out there. Let me break this down for you for a second. We forget, and take a second to process this, 40% of the new information we receive within 20 minutes of hearing it. How crazy is that?
That's insane.
You're forgetting this 20 minutes from now. Within 24 hours, we forget 70%. Now, you may well be asking yourself, like, well, how is this in any way helpful? But it really is. Firstly, because it helps us focus on what is relevant. Secondly, forgetting old ideas helps us free up the space for new ones, which is critical if we want to be relevant. And three, forgetting old behaviors helps us to adapt. See my first book, Legicide, for more on this.
It's a good book. Your friends will love it.
Now, in order to effectively forget stuff, what we look for is the gist of things. Once we have it, we can just jettison the detail that created it. This is good for us as humans, but it is bad for you as a leader trying to communicate something to make a change in your business. However, forewarned is forearmed. And if we work under the assumption that people are actually forgetting machines, it changes the way we approach how we communicate with them. And if we do want our message to stick, well, we need to consider how memories are created and stored. So let's go down that rabbit hole for a bit. Have you ever heard of the forgetting curve? Now, this image was originally created by Hermann Ebbinghaus. He was a German psychologist in the late 1900s, and it has really stood up very well and still stands the test of time. The basic idea is that the steep downward curve you're looking at represents how we forget things over time, as mentioned earlier. What it shows, though, is that using the theory of spaced repetition, which is exposing ourselves, or in this case, the people we need to remember this stuff, to key bits of information over time vastly decreases the likelihood that it will be forgotten. What we do when we utilize spaced repetition, repeating things over a period of time, a day later, a week later, a month later, is we break their forgetting machines. Using myself as an example here, sometimes I worry that I'm coming across like a bit of a cracked record with all this relentless relevant stuff I keep talking about. And many of my videos and articles, they say the same thing just in different ways. But when I find myself doubting my strategy, I remind myself that I'm doing this simply to help you overcome the poverty of your memory.
I forgot. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, what does this all then mean to us as leaders? Well, it means that anytime we have to communicate anything at all, we need to plan under the assumption that that communication will be forgotten and to prepare a roadmap of spaced repetition in order to make sure that it is not. When it comes to communicating important ideas, in order to get action, one is not done. It's simple. If you're a manager that just wants to check a box, well, say it once. But if you're a leader and you want to make a marked change in your organization, say it over and over again in different ways and on different mediums.
Say that again.
Say it over and over again in different ways and on different mediums. This is the one area in which the novelty comes not from what you say, but in how and where you say it. At MSNGLNK, we do a lot of conference design for our clients, and we see that the single biggest marker for the success of a conference, which, let's be honest, is only graded a year after it, is whether or not the client sees the conference as an event or a catalyst for action. The clients that see it as the latter are more open to our suggestion for additional communication post-conference, and as such, a lot more likely to make a lasting impact. The big point I want you to take from this today is that we should not entrust the future of our business to the highly skilled forgetting machines that fill our buildings. As leaders, it's our job to use our voices repeatedly to make sure that the important stuff sticks. Now, if you want to understand how to communicate effectively in the first place, well, maybe you should watch this video next. That's it. Until next time, lead loud.